right now on Chronicle in high definition.
It's party time. On the guest list, Fenway's bullpen cop, who's not a lucky guy.
They douse me in champagne. I'm on my way home and I get caught in a sobriety roadblock.
Red Sox Nation's newest citizen.
What do you think about Bucky Dent?
Mike Barnacle brings his first impressions.
Being startled by the green that you see in front of you.
Dan Shaughnessy brings his ancestors.
Maybe that pole you're sitting behind was the same one that obstructed the view of your great-grandfather.
Sure, the ballpark has its quirks. Its size is not ideal.
It just feels like it's so enclosed and the fans are on top of you.
But give this little bandbox a break. It's 100 years old, celebrating the first century of Fenway Park. Next on Chronicle. Red Sox president Larry Lucchino will tell you he has two favorite times to be in Fenway Park: when the ball yard is humming and the atmosphere is electric, and then when he has Fenway Park all to himself. And in that silence, he says he can imagine the legends that have played here: Jimmy Fox, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig.
I sometimes work into the evening, and if there is no game here, I walk out into the ballpark and I see and I feel the sense of history that permeates the place.
It is hardly a secret that tomorrow Fenway Park celebrates an epic birthday, 100 years. True, its storied opening a century ago was overshadowed a bit by the news of the sinking of the Titanic just days earlier. But in Boston, where sports is pretty much religion, tomorrow Fenway will finally have its front page moment, and one promising to be worthy of the ages.
There is something essential to baseball in Boston and New England. It's part of the fabric. It must be in the DNA or the water supply because it goes from generation to generation.
It was the Red Sox owner John I. Taylor who gave this place its name back in 1912. It's in the Fenway section of Boston, isn't it? Taylor quipped. Then call it Fenway Park. Since then, millions of New Englanders have come here. For so many, a rite of passage that begins in childhood and remains forever etched in their mind.
I was in central Massachusetts, Groton. It's only like 40 miles away, but we never went anywhere. Going to Boston was like going to Paris for the weekend. You know, we had to like stop in Concord to rest up.
The Boston Globe's Dan Shaughnessy says he can still visualize his first Fenway moment, a night game against the Orioles in 1961.
For those of us over 50, raised on black and white television, it's what I call the Wizard of Oz moment. You walk in for the first time and all this color unfolds in front of you. We never saw a grass that green, and you didn't have a scope of how big and green it was until you first went in there.
Part of the magic entails coming up from the subway in Kenmore Square, walking up Brookline Avenue, going into the ballpark, up one of the ramps that have been there for 100 years, and being startled by the green that you see in front of you, the lawn, the wall, the sun reflecting on both. It's a startling, beautiful scene.
An obsessed longtime ticket holder, television commentator Mike Barnacle says that outside of his house, Fenway Park is the only other place in the universe he feels most comfortable.
Knowing the people who sit around you, it's like you have a summer home. You know, hi, how are you? Did you have a nice winter? You sit down, you watch the game, and the summer passes. Depending on what happens in September or October, hopefully, the last game is played, you go home, you put the storm windows on, and you don't see those people until next spring. Hi, how are you? Did you have a nice winter?
So, what's so endearing, ultimately, about Fenway? Well, let us count the ways. In an age of cookie-cutter metroplexes, Fenway is low-rise, intimate, and timeless. When it comes to being on top of the action, there's no place like Fenway for the fan experience. There are seats here that are practically as close to home plate as the pitcher's mound. And the narrow foul ball area, a frequent get-out-of-jail card for a patient batter.
A good hitter can come in that park, and they'll probably get, in the course of a 9-inning game, an extra 4 or 5 pitches to hit, because they'll foul balls off that would be caught in other parks. And that gives them another chance to launch one over the wall or hit one in the gap.
Then there are the legendary and seemingly endless ways for a ball to ricochet around in unexpected ways. Misjudge a ball out here in right field, and it can bounce around this wall like a pinball. Here's another celebrated Fenway trap. Hit a ball over the third base bag. It can either hit this wall and bounce all the way back toward the shortstop, or roll around out here in no man's land in left field.
The visitors are in the third base dugout, and if their left fielder goes into the corner, they can't see him. Earl Weavy used to talk about this when I covered the Orioles. I mean, Donnie Baylor would go into the corner for a ball down the line, and it felt like minutes were going by. They'd lost him. What's happening in there? You really can't see it.
Well, Fenway Park has all the quirkiness and angles of a big backyard. But it's our backyard. We can all close our eyes and we can imagine almost every square foot of the park, the layout, the walls, the angles, and then we can sympathize with whoever gets to play right field this year, because on a sunny day, that is pure hell.
Johnny Damon's always a name that comes to mind. This guy would play through anything. Trot Nixon, forget about it. He would play through anything. Tech's a guy that would just play.
Lou Merlone, now a WEEI sports radio host, had a Fenway Park moment that every little leaguer in New England dreams of. The Framingham native got to play 9 years in the major leagues, 6 of them with the Red Sox. But it was his very first Fenway Park at bat in 1998 that was so memorable, he walloped a home run.
Nobody out. Maloney sends one high and deep to left. Conine settling under it and watching it go into the screen.
I tell you, it was a strange feeling because I'm rounding the bases not knowing what just happened, you know, or did that just happen, or what do I do now, you know, because, you know, it's everybody, you play this game because you think you can play in the big leagues. So that's what drives you, and to go out there and hit a home run your first at bat. A lot of my friends joked around and said I should have retired after that game, but I'm glad I didn't.
Every hitter that's ever walked into Fenway has been tantalized by the Green Monster. More than 10,000 home runs have been launched over the iconic 37-foot-high left field wall. Yet, ironically, back in the dead ball era when Fenway was built, the wall was actually designed to be a defensive fortress.
Nobody thought anyone would ever hit a ball over the left field wall. A player named Hugh Bradley, a native of Worcester, hit the first home run over the left field wall, and it made front page news across New England.
Ted would like to go out with a bang. Long drive to deep right field. Williams may have gone.
And did you know that the right field bullpens were added in 1940 to shorten the home run distance for one Ted Williams? On just about every Red Sox survey, by the way, Teddy Ballgame is the most popular Red Sox player ever.
Carl Yastrzemski, the man they call Yaz. We love him.
Of course, right up there, too, is Yaz, Carl Yastrzemski.
I've never seen anyone carry a team for as long as Yaz carried that club in September of 1967. I think you could make a strong case that he had the greatest month in the heat of a pennant race that any player ever had. He dragged that Red Sox team into the American League pennant.
Perhaps the greatest debate in Fenway history will forever be whether the Red Sox selling of Babe Ruth to New York in 1919 ushered in a real or only imagined curse.
The curse of the Bambino never existed. It was the curse of not having enough pitching. It was the curse of not paying enough attention to young Hispanic and African-American ball players for too long. It was the curse of investing in big right-handed power hitters who could hit 30 to 40 home runs, given the fact that the left field wall is so close, but they couldn't run, they couldn't field.
What we did get with Babe Ruth, in the 5.5 seasons he played with the team, the Red Sox won 3 world championships. In the 15 seasons Babe Ruth played for the New York Yankees, the Yankees won 4 world championships. We had the blessing of the Babe and the curse of nothing.
Ask Red Sox fans for their greatest Fenway moments, and the 2 recent world championships are hard to beat, but everyone has their favorites.
The Bernie Carbo home run, which was like a thunderclap. It was so surprising, so unexpected. The Fisk home run, a couple of innings later, that same night, October 22nd, 1975.
My 8-year-old daughter threw out the first pitch when she had leukemia in 1994. It was kids' opening day, and she was the Jimmy Fund patient that they gave that honor to.
I have a particular fondness for the fourth game of the ALCS in 2004. Kevin Millar walks, Dave Roberts steals second base, and the rest is history.
Of course, for ball players, Fenway can be a fickle place to play. 1 minute, the fans treat you like a rock star, but in an instant, they can turn cold as the December wind. Just ask Carl Crawford and John Lackey how things turned for them last season.
They're on top of you. You can't hide. You know, if you're even out in the Green Monster now, you got people above you. But you had the people in that left field corner always yelling at you. So it's, you know, there's some foul territory, but it just feels like it's so enclosed, and the fans are on top of you. And that's why a lot of the visiting teams don't like to play, because it's so loud.
And let's not forget that in Boston, there is so much media scrutiny that players are dissected more deeply than an episode of CSI.
Mike Torres was pitching, and he had a no-hitter, and a line drive by Ken Singleton hit the side of his head, and it bounced out to left field. And I'll never forget, someone in the press box said, "It's always something with this guy." You know, I'm thinking, boy, this is a tough crowd here.
Next, waiting in long lines at the Cask and Flagon.
I'm flattered, but what is wrong with you?
Back then, I simply loved Gorton's fish sticks. Now, I love Gorton's new Simply Bake. The foil bags bake in your oven to lock in the freshness of expertly seasoned fish, like tilapia or haddock in real garlic and herbs. No prep, no mess. I simply bake for perfect seafood every time. New Simply Bake, only from Gorton's. Simply perfect.
Trust the Gorton's fisherman.
Why Pool and Patio Specialists in Westwood? Huge selection, name brands, very competitive prices. Now through Sunday, mention you saw this ad and we'll pay your sales tax. Pool and Patio Specialists in Westwood, conveniently located off 128 exit 15B.
Our family is constantly evolving. Take the iconic Jeep Wrangler. It now comes with a new powertrain for improved performance and an available body-colored hardtop. And the Jeep Grand Cherokee is the most luxurious in its class. But one family trait always gets passed down. Legendary Jeep 4x4 capability.
After $750 bonus cash, well-qualified lessees get this great low-mileage lease on Jeep Wrangler Sport.
Attention, shoppers! Hit it! Why are you paying full price when Marshall's has the same designers for less? Can we give a little attitude, girls? And give me this and a this. Bags, shoes, dresses. Who wants to go to Marshall's?
Celebrity Series of Boston invites you to one of the city's most celebrated seasonal traditions, Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, coming to the City Wang Theater April 26th through the 29th. For tickets, call 866-348-9738 or visit celebrityseries.org.
Why Pool and Patio Specialists in Westwood? Huge selection, name brands, very competitive prices. Now through Sunday, mention you saw this ad and we'll pay your sales tax. Pool and Patio Specialists in Westwood, conveniently located off 128 exit 15B.
They call themselves Red Sox Nation, and today that cult of Fenway faithful knows no geographic boundaries. Take David Scott and his daughter Phoebe, diehard Sox fans who live in Florida but bleed Bo Sox red.
When we moved to the South, I was thinking that there wouldn't be as many Red Sox fans, but that definitely wasn't the case, and it surprised me a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I play soccer, and so even on my soccer team, a bunch of the girls are Red Sox fans, and you know, we'll wear like our Boston Red Sox t-shirt, and like I'll get compliments.
Back in 2009, David Scott's wife, Juliana Baggett, wrote a popular children's book about a 12-year-old boy who set out to reverse a certain curse on Yawkey Way. It's called The Prince of Fenway Park.
One of the things in the book, it's the anthropomorphization of Fenway Park and all of these magical creatures that live under the ground and in the sewer systems, in the pipes, in the industrial wasteland that's sort of underneath Fenway. Because the Green Monster is a character in the book. It's actually a puka that lives inside the hill that is underneath the Green Monster and the left field wall. 27 is Carlton Fisk.
To help promote the Prince of Fenway Park, this irreverent family created a series of hilarious videos on how to raise children to be Red Sox fans.
What do you think about Bucky Dent? How about Roger Clemens? A-Rod.
Could this be construed as child abuse? Well, not if you're a card-carrying member of Red Sox Nation, says older sister Phoebe.
I think it's healthy over-the-topness. I think it's all good-natured over-the-top.
Every Fenway fanatic at one time or another has found themselves sitting on a bar stool at the legendary Cask and Flagon. For home openers, Patriots Day, and playoff games, they've been known to go through 1,000 cases of beer. But on those high holy days in Red Sox Nation, you better get there early.
Before we open, we'll have a line of 100 to 150 people waiting to come in at 8 o'clock. I'll ask people how long they've been waiting in line, and they'll say, well, we've been in line for 3.5 hours. Wow. And I want to say, I'm flattered, but what is wrong with you?
Let's just say there's been an ocean of tears cried into beer at the Cask and Flagon after some memorably crushing Red Sox defeats. Oh, like Bucky bleeping Dent. But a ton of memories have been made here, too. And friendships, like during the last championship run in 2007.
The phone started ringing off the hook. And I immediately answered the phone, and it was people from all over the world calling the Cask and Flagon to congratulate us. It was nonstop. I took the call, I'd hang up, I'd take a call, I'd hang up for half an hour. We get calls from Australia, we get calls from England. It's just really cool to have that notoriety and to have people have a passion for what we are and what we do here.
Now, meet a Boston cop with a unique perspective on Red Sox history. For 12 years, Detective Billy Dunn has protected the Red Sox bullpen during home games. You know, the cop who high-fived Jonathan Papelbon as he entered games. Yeah, that would be Billy.
Not many people in their lives have seen one no-hitter. I've seen three.
Three.
Okay. Derek Lowe, Burke Holtz, and Lester. I've seen Kurt Schilling do his 3,000th strikeout.
When you spend as much time in the bullpen as Billy Dunn, the players treat you, well, like one of them. Right down to the champagne soaking after a World Series victory.
It's funny, the first one, when they douse me in champagne, I'm on my way home and I get caught in a sobriety roadblock.
Oh, no.
By the state police. It's a good thing two of them recognized me, but I smelled like a...
That would have been tough to explain.
Yeah, I used to do it. They knew what happened, so it was good.
Detective Dunn has been in the middle of several Red Sox-Yankees scrums. He had to jump into the Yankees bullpen in 2003 when two Evil Empire pitchers allegedly started punching a Red Sox groundskeeper in the head.
So there was the Yankees fight. What about fights on the field?
Well, there was a fight a couple of years ago, and all the players jumped the wall. Some of them ran out the gate, and Okajima at the time had an interpreter out here, and he ran in.
Okajima.
And then the interpreter ran in. And I'm saying to myself, this is unusual.
This is unusual.
So when the interpreter came back, I asked him what he was going to do out there. Say, stay here, Okajima's going to punch you? So he started laughing. And then he tells Okajima in Japanese, he starts laughing. So.
Swing, line drive, right field. We're going to Tampa.
What do you love most about this job?
Just being in Fenway Park. This is history. My father died never seeing them in a championship. But never, especially the World Series. I get to experience that for him twice. Like I said, I experienced it with the guys that are making the history. Most people just sit and watch. I experienced it with them.
All the nuns sitting behind Cardinal Cushing, and he's sitting with a straw hat and shades.
Treasures in black and white. Next.
Yeah, they look like a happy family, but we swapped their imports for an Escape. Now they're really happy.
It's really nice.
It is 28 miles a gallon.
That's pretty awesome.
They had it for the first week, and then it was really driven after.
Plenty of room to go camping or take road trips. I use the Park Assist.
No hands.
I didn't think that was possible.
Right now, during the Swap Your Ride sales event, it's just $189 for current competitive lessees to drive a loaded Escape with sunroof and sink. Hurry in to drive Escape for $189.
As a fashion blogger, I love when I get to do a morning talk show. I'm always talking about TJ Maxx. I tell people how to look like $1 million without spending it.
Fashion direct from designers. Savings direct to you. TJ Maxx. Let us make a Maxxinista out of you.
I don't have a lot of spare time, but making my home look nice, well, that's still important to me. I can't waste time going from store to store, so I save time and money by going straight to Boston Interiors. It's the one store that has more of the styles and quality I love, all at great prices. Plus, I get free design help. It's a smarter way to shop.
Incredibly low prices, amazing new styles. Hurry in and find it all at the Boston Interiors Spring Home Sale.
There's goodness in every hug that welcomes them home, and in a little snack that's waiting when they do. Lance Sandwich Crackers. Our fresh-made peanut butter inside, crispy baked crackers outside. Lance, the goodness is baked in.
Looking for a good reason to shift into a new 3 Series BMW this spring? We'll give you 3. First,
lease a 2011 328i xDrive sedan during the month of April for just $328 a month for 30 months. Second, lease during the month of April, and BMW Financial Services will make your first 2 payments.
Third, we have more than 250 3 Series performance vehicles to choose from. Oh yeah, driving one's a pretty compelling reason as well. Don't let this one blow by you. BMW of Peabody, New England luxury lifestyle.
Y'all ready for this?
Toyota's spring sales drive is here. Are you ready to drive the best cars for fuel efficiency? Are you ready to get some of the biggest savings of the year? Save now with 0% financing for 60 months on a 2012 all-wheel drive RAV4. That's 0% financing for 60 months. Plus, get 2 years complimentary maintenance that will save you even more. Are you ready to save right now? Toyota's spring sales drive ends April 30th. See your New England Toyota dealer now.
Accurate, experienced, the team to trust. That's Storm Team 5.
Over the past decade, the current Red Sox owners have spent nearly $300 million modernizing Fenway, adding everything from luxury boxes to seats over the Green Monster. So it was quite an honor when this year the ballpark was added to the National Landmark of Historic Places.
It's a point of real pride for us. We think we've expanded, enhanced the experience, improved the ballpark in lots of ways, but we haven't changed its essential feel, its essential ambiance. The spirit of Fenway Park has remained the same and just as intimate as ever.
Fenway's anniversary is also being celebrated in several new books. The Red Sox themselves have put out a 7-pound behemoth tracing a century of memories in text and more than 300 images. It features a wide range of tributes from Stephen King to the Beatles' Paul McCartney. The Boston Globe has also published an equally impressive retrospective, meticulously researched and loaded with rare photos. Who knew, for instance, that during the early years, attending games was a more formal affair?
Everybody in the stands is wearing a jacket, a tie, a hat. Even in the bleachers, they're wearing some kind of a scally cap. And people dressed up for those games. There is a fantastic photo in the book that shows all the nuns sitting behind Cardinal Cushing, and he's sitting with a straw hat and shades.
The Globe book comes with a pull-out blueprint of Fenway's renovation in 1934. It was found recently in the attic of former Red Sox owner John I. Taylor's grandson. The book also details the many non-baseball uses of Fenway over the century.
What people would be surprised by is how much Fenway was really a civic gathering place for much of its early history. The Red Sox played there, but they also had political gatherings, memorial masses for war veterans, etc. They also had other sports like Irish hurling, Gaelic games, football, basketball, soccer.
One of the moments in history that Ron Driscoll loved researching was when Franklin D. Roosevelt delivered a campaign speech at Fenway.
Kate Smith, Orson Welles, and Frank Sinatra warmed up the crowd, and FDR came out, and it was right before the election in '44, and Thomas Dewey had come out and said he was soft on communism, and FDR gave this very stirring speech. There were more than 40,000 people in the ballpark.
Bate, we got to conclude Bate.
Yeah.
Bat Day, Nuns Day, the state days.
Both authors and Globe archivist Janice Page say this book was a labor of love, knowing how lucky we Bostonians are to have Fenway.
Almost all of us went there as kids. You're probably 6 or 7 years old. You were taken by your mother or father. So there is a family bonding, is that you know that my father went there, you know, his father went there, and I took my sons there.
You know, there are parts of it you can close your eyes and it could be 100 years ago. You take away electricity and other things, but maybe that pole you're sitting behind was the same one that obstructed the view of your great-grandfather, 90 years ago.
Fenway Park is a sensual delight. I get a little twinge, a little thrill, It's great. I mean, you're walking into this wonderful place of memory, of imagination, of recollection, of experience. It's all there. There are not many public spaces in town where you get it all. You get it all at Fenway Park.
Next Chronicle, Boston's double hand transplant. Every step of the amazing journey before the surgery.
I want limbs so that I can